Have you ever wondered about the bones of a story? What did the outline look like before the characters hijacked it? Ophelia Kee always wondered the same things about her own stories. As a discovery writer, the chaotic pantser style, not even the author knew how the tales in the Draoithe Saga would go until they went. Backward analyzing one story while busy writing the next tale or two somehow never happened. Apparently, OK put things off long enough, and some fancy computer magic will provide us with those long-wished-for story overviews. We can finally X-ray the tales from the dream and see their skeletons. Shall we investigate the next story in the dream?
Okay, let's just jump right in. Have you ever wondered what makes paranormal romance so incredibly popular? I mean, it's a huge genre. Well, today, we're gonna crack that code. And to do it, we're using a perfect case study, the book Lord of Dragons. We're gonna use its story, its characters, and its world to basically build a blueprint for what makes this whole genre tick. And this quote from the book, it just perfectly sets the stage. See, the goal isn't just to tell a story, it's about creating an experience, a dream that you can totally get lost in. This is our ticket into a world where all the myths and legends are real. So how do you even begin to build an experience like that? Well, you start with a solid blueprint. Let's take a look at the fundamental building blocks that make up not just this one book, but the entire universe it belongs to. You know, the author's choice to call this a saga is so important. That one word tells you we're not dealing with little one-off books. Nope, these are all interconnected stories that are building this massive, sprawling history. Every book is like another piece of a giant puzzle, designed to pull you in and keep you there. And here they are, the core ingredients, basically listed right on the box. First, you've got steamy paranormal romance. That's our main event. Then, magical realism and urban fantasy tell us that all this magic is happening in a world that looks a lot like ours. And then you get two super important terms, fated mates and HEA, which stands for happily ever after. So right away, you're promised a very specific kind of destiny-driven romance with a clear heads up that this is definitely for adults only. And where does all this go down? In a place called Draoithe, which is basically a magical version of Tyler, Texas. And that's the key, right? We're not in some far-off, distant land. We're in a place we recognize, where these epic, mythical beings are living and fighting and falling in love, like right under our noses. Okay, so a cool world is one thing, but what really drives these stories are the characters. The heart of the whole genre is that chemistry, and that's where this idea of fated mates really comes to life. This comparison just lays it all out perfectly. On one side, you have Ash. He's an ancient, 629-year-old alpha dragon lord, a battle commander whose whole mission is to claim his mate. And on the other side, you have Raven. She's 24, just turned into a shifter, and is dealing with some serious trauma. Her goal is just to survive. This huge imbalance in power, in age, in magic, in status, creates instant tension. It sets up that classic dynamic, the all-powerful protector and the survivor who needs healing. And that fantasy of someone so powerful being completely dedicated to protecting one person is a huge part of the pull. And here's how that steamy part works. Notice how the romance is literally magical. It's not a metaphor. Dragon fire actually appears on his skin when she touches him. Their connection isn't just emotional, it's this raw, elemental force that he can literally drown in. That blend of intense passion and supernatural power is what this genre is all about. All right, so let's dig into how that mix of magic and romance actually drives the story forward. Because in this world, the magic system, the relationships, and the central conflict are all completely tangled together. You can't separate them. Which brings us to a fascinating question, and one that reveals a lot about how this world works. I mean, seriously, how does a massive ancient dragon actually get off the ground? The answer isn't what you'd think. And there you have it. The magic is literally powered by their intimacy. I mean, come on, that's a perfect encapsulation of the genre's whole design. The romance isn't just a side plot, it's the engine that makes their supernatural abilities work. Power and intimacy are the exact same thing here. But it's not all romance in magically powered flight, you know? There is real danger. There's a villain out there hunting and kidnapping immortals, which means the stakes are way higher than just one relationship. The entire community is in a life or death fight. This one line from the Alpha King, Luke, just says it all, doesn't it? It is so defiant, so absolute. It shows you this isn't a world of gentle negotiation. It's a world of power, where these leaders meet threats head-on with total, unbreakable confidence. That dominance is just as important as the romance. And here's where it all comes together. Look at this journey to power. It starts with romance, being chosen. That leads directly to a physical transformation where she gets immense power and becomes a Valkyrie. But here's the twist, the ultimate paradox. The act of love that empowers her is also the thing that makes the all-powerful dragon vulnerable, but only to her. She becomes his greatest strength and his only true weakness. So we've seen the blueprint, we've met the characters, we get the magical mechanics. Let's step back and ask the big question. Why is this formula so compelling? What is the real fundamental allure of this dream? When you really break it down, you can see it hits on some powerful stuff. You've got the ultimate protector fantasy, this ancient, dangerous being completely devoted to you and only you. You have this really satisfying healing journey where a character doesn't just get over her trauma, she literally transforms it into a source of incredible power. It's all set in this epic, immersive world that lets you escape. And the romance feels so much bigger because it's tied to these high-stakes life-or-death situations. And of course, the whole idea of fated mates just erases all doubt and promises this perfect, predestined love. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought to chew on. In a real world that's full of choices and uncertainty, maybe the appeal of these sagas is the promise of a world where your destiny is already written. Your protector is all-powerful, and where love literally gives you the power to fly. What is it about these epic worlds that really offers us the ultimate escape?
I sincerely hope you enjoyed this view of a story skeleton, glimpsing the characters, setting, and plot structure along with the twists within the writing in this tale from the Draoithe Saga by Ophelia Kee. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more original stories and audio adventures. A special thank you to OK Music Writers for writing and for sharing the Enter the Dream soundtrack. It's more than a story, it's an experience. Welcome to the dream.